Hi everyone, we're back with part 5 of our series on how to build a rally roadbook. We're now going to get to the good stuff. We're going to export our roadbook from Tulip. We're going to save it. We're going to pull it into the Rally Blitz apps. Then we're going to go out and ride it. So let me minimize my screen here. Get me out of the way. Jumped around. It's a little strange. Okay. We have our roadbook that we've been working on. This is super simple. We have our Tulip up. We're going to go to the options here on the right. We're going to export GPX, and this is the file that gets pulled into Rally Blitz. It already exported it. You can see export open rally. That hasn't been activated yet in Tulip, but the GPX exports right now is almost fully open rally compliant anyway. But in the future, we'll get that sorted. But you just export the GPX and then you export PDF. You have some choices here. You can do it A5, you can do it as letter, or you do it as roll. For the Rally Blitz stuff, you can just export it as a roll. You save it as a PDF. And then it tells you it's all been saved into the folder into which you had created your roadbook. So we close that, we pull up our demo folder, and you can see we have our GPX file, we have our roll file. And for Rally Blitz, it's important that this demo folder, whatever folder you save this in, is available via Dropbox or your Google Drive, or you can email it also. But if you're going to use it via Dropbox, you want this to be available via Dropbox, or you copy these files into a folder that you can use in Dropbox, and you can organize all your roadbooks that way. So move this out of the way. Well, what I'm going to do now is show you how we're actually loading these into the roadbook, the Rally Blitz Roadbook app, or Nav Pro app, on an iPad. So let's pull the iPad up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start recording on this. I realize it may not be the best fidelity, but I think you'll get the idea. So this is Rally Blitz Nav Pro 1.4. We have a new one coming out, I don't know, sometime in 2020, early 2020, that's going to have a few more features, but this should get you here. And this is a iPad Mini 4. If you have a Mini 1, you can still work. The challenge is that the Dropbox version isn't current, so sometimes you have to do some Dropbox workarounds, and I'll show you a couple different ways to load a file. We're going to do them both by Dropbox, but this should work for Google Drive also. So up here, so we have our Nav Pro here. You have your settings and things, but we're going to close this down. We're going to go to Files. We'll add a file here, and we can search for a file. Let's search for demo, see if that comes up. Demo 1 roll, see it right there, PDF. So we'll click on that. It's creating a link. Should work. Doesn't always. Sometimes Dropbox can be a little bit funny. Okay, so added demo 1 roll. Yeah, you can read it up there. And if we touch it, it activates it. So if we go back to Rally Blitz files, you can't see it, but there's a check mark next to the Rally Blitz files. There, it came up. If I get my hand, it changes contrast. There we go. So you can see that it added that as a file. So the file is up. We can stretch. If anybody's used this, you also have the ability to lock the screen, so it won't. Once you kind of zoom in, it won't slide around. So we'll unlock the screen, and then we'll add the GPX file. So we go back. Actually, we're going to do it a different way. I'm going to show you how you would load it actually from the app. So you go into Dropbox, and you see the GPX, demo 1 GPX. We're going to hit the 3 dots right here. You can't see that, but with the 3 dots, and we're going to say export. And this is the trick. Then it comes up and says, oh, you do an open in, and then you pick the app. Copy to Rally Blitz Nav Pro. See that? So then that actually sends it to Nav Pro. And then we also want to, it's loaded, but it's not active. So you have to click, you want to click on that. And now, can we see it? Yeah, you'll see that both files are active. So now we have both files active. Again, we can zoom in. If we go into, we click on our waypoints here, you can see that we have two active waypoints in there. Well, one's ready to go, and then we have the second waypoint. We'll show those when we ride. In the video we're about to watch of riding, I actually have the waypoints turned off because I didn't want to use the active waypoints. I kind of wanted to navigate it rote without actually having the waypoints turn up. But that's how you turn the waypoints on and off. So anyway, let's now that we have this thing loaded, let's go get out in the desert and ride it. These are some views facing south down the mountain range. A little bit different south. There's the double track you're going to see later. And this is the part that says craziness. So we'll be riding through that right at the end of the roadbook. So we're starting out, heading east. We're taking a right here on the main road. Triple caution so you don't get run over. Then we're zipping down the road and doing our best to take a look and keep an eye out on the right hand side just to make sure we're on track. And we're cruising down the road here. There it is. There's a building to our right. So we're continuing on down the road, now looking for this particularly complicated area. A truck up ahead, starting to see some dust. We're approaching the mileage. Yeah, you can see the roads breaking off to the right and the left, so bear right, get on the gas here, looking for the next checkpoint, the interim one. This is a keep straight, but we know again that we've made the right turn if the mileage checks out. So right about here looks pretty good. Yep, that flips over. Then remember this this area here where we're kind of breaking off to the right is the one where we had to manipulate the roadbook to get the cap heading right. So you end up on this cap heading. It's sort of kind of a make-believe road here across a dry lake bed. Now I'm watching my mileage because you just need to take off at the 007 cap heading at this specific mileage. So kind of trying to approach it slowly because you don't want to blow it over, because then you're going to have to go back and kind of redo your distance. So approach it slowly and hit the gas once you get to the right mileage, and now it's basically picking something in the distance at 007. Got a couple, 2.5, 3 kilometers to go. It's a pretty good distance here. And this section's actually pretty fun because there are some roads and trails that are very much parallel to the direction of travel, but not exactly on the direction of travel. So it's a pretty good test for people to try to be able to maintain the cap. The other thing is, once you get some sights off in the distance, there are these dunes that you're crossing. So as you are headed off in the distance, you actually lose sight of some of your long range sighting points that you're trying to get that you can get a cap heading off of. So it's actually a pretty good exercise. These nice dunes. Now in your road book you could add some of these dunes if you wanted to, but for the most part people are going to know that, I mean, if they're basically heading north, they're going to have to be way off to have this road book be not working for them. So I mean, this whole section kind of goes north, so I wouldn't add any more information as you're headed towards this waypoint. And when I did this roadbook, I mentioned that before. When I ran it with the waypoint, the auto waypoints turned off, because I wanted to see if I could make the waypoints work without actually having the guidance at the end where it directs you back in. So you can see I'm doing a fairly decent job here maintaining the cap, not needing to waver too much. There's no big dunes or gullies or anything that you need to work around. So it is a really good exercise. This is a good road book for someone to practice. Practice some road navigation, some HP sections. Like I said, you can see these sort of parallel tracks that you're going through, but you don't want to hang in them too long because you'll be way off on your mileage or your direction. Here you've got a pretty good sight line off in the distance as well. So we're starting to approach that, and again, watching the mileage, starting to slow down. You can see me, I think, looking down here at some point. Amazing how well these GoPro cameras work at smoothing out all the bumps. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how that stabilization works. So here we are. We're past the last set of dunes. We're kind of in this open sandy section. Again, doing our best. At this point, I'm looking at I've picked a point off in the distance that's at my 007, and I'm just working towards it, trying to get closer and closer to my mileage, which is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, and here it is. Not yet. No. Somewhere in here. Yeah, okay, we've hit it now. Now you'll see me trying to maintain this, hit that 280, which is basically a left-hand turn, waiting for the cap heading to kind of settle in, then head it off in the distance. For some reason, the GoPro shut off and started back up at the top here, so you'll notice a little transition when we get to the top of this section here. And you'll see that I was just a slight bit east when I came over that hill, but considering that was a few kilometers, I consider that a pretty decent navigation. So we're back on this main road. We're now looking for the indicator off on the left. You can see it right here. Boom. Okay, we're on track. Hit the gas, and then look for this sort of complicated section up ahead. So we're keeping our eye out for that. That's like a quarter kilometer away. That's going to come up really fast. One thing you'll notice when you see this is there's actually a double road in real life, but on the road book it's a single. But you know that in the next instruction there's a double, so you're not really too surprised that it's not accurately represented, and I wouldn't change that. I consider that good enough for a road book. Now we're looking for this turn that kind of turns back towards us, so it's pretty unique. So we can just hammer onto the gas until we're getting close on the mileage up, and there it comes. So kind of roll into your left-hand turn, hit the gas here. Your next turn's coming up super fast. So you see this hill coming up, coming down the backside. Oh, okay, there it is. There's that bush. Perfect placement of that bush. Pick that off of Google Maps. So yeah, you can't miss that. A couple of little whoops here. Zoom through. Now we're looking for this sort of complicated right-hander, but we've got a precursor because there's something that breaks off to the left. There it is. I mean, you can't miss it. And then you kind of roll into this right-hander, hit the gas, and you're headed towards this complicated section at the top. And we kind of know, remember, it goes through at cap 104, so we're just going to kind of just pick through it, look for the finish line. We're not going to try and navigate this too closely. There's the finish line. There we are. We're going to be on the gas. Yeah, I consider this road book perfect. I wouldn't actually add anything. Anybody should be able to go out and navigate this, and I think that represents a pretty good starting point for anyone to be able to go and navigate. Hope you enjoyed it.